Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video in SQL series, that is this data definition language, that is DDL category. Now we'll be watching all the details related to DDL commands, that whatever the commands we are having, how to execute that on SSMS, and all the details regarding to it we'll be watching in this particular video. So let's get started with the video. Before moving ahead with this data definition language category, I need to first inform you, if you haven't went through the previous video, I just want to show you that what I taught in the previous video, so that you can get a relation between the previous and this one. So this one is the categories and subsets of SQL. That means whatever SQL is a query language, right? The query language have been divided into various categories. That means it has several operations into it. Those operations are divided into categories. Those categories are basically 5 types of categories. So first one is the DDL, in which we study about the data definition language. Whatever definition, managing and structuring of DB, whatever commands related to management and structuring of DB database is related, all those commands come under this DDL category. Now we will be watching the commands of it. So basically there are 4 commands into DDL, that are create, alter, truncate and drop. Now this create is for creating your table into the database. So here you can see that we have taken an example of sales table, in which we are taking up the columns as sales ID, product name, quantity, price and sales date. So how this create statement executed is create and then table keyword and then sales. The table name you need to specify. After that you are having the sales ID as the column and the data type of the sales ID as the int. And since this is a primary key, now if you are aware of primary key and foreign key, let me explain you in a minute, so that you can get aware that what primary key and how to use it. So to identify a particular row into a table, we need a separate key, or you may say unique key. That key is only called as primary key to identify the column in row into this particular sales table. So here we are having sales ID, product name and then quantity. So this product name is again a column name with having the data type as varchar with data size as 100. That means we are going to put 100 bit data into it. After that quantity, so this 100 is the length we are specifying over here. That means whatever this product name is going to be into the string format, and since whenever it will be a string format, we need to specify the data type as varchar and varchar. All these things we can specify. I have taken it into a separate Excel sheet, whatever data types we are having available into this SSMS. So this you can see over here that we are having numeric data type specified as big int, small int, tiny int. We are also having the limits of it, lower limit and upper limit, and how much memory it consumes into our DB, that means database. So these are the data types I have listed it down here. These are the I was talking about the character string data type. So character string, there was varchar getting used, right? So lower limit is 0 character, we can't we keep it blank, and the upper limit is 8000 characters. That means we are right now specifying as 100 characters. It comes under this range 0 character to 8000 character. Now what's the memory size? So n byte plus 2 byte. So these are the memory getting consumed into for this particular data type. All these informations I have kept it into a separate Excel book, so that I can share it with you into the description box, so that you can check it in the future reference. Right now it will not be that much used, but whenever you will proceeding ahead with the advanced queries and all, you will definitely be needing the data types, so that you can use appropriate data type into the SQL query. Now why even appropriate data type? What does it mean? So appropriate data type means, suppose if you are having a use of 100 characters only into this product name, right? Whatever we were watching here. So suppose you are having only 100 length, you need to input your product name into it, and if you are specifying it as 500, of course then 400 is going to be wasted, right? And this 400 memory, that means 400 length, whatever it will consume memory, those memory will be wasted into your database. It will be consumed forever, but it will not be used, so that is getting wasted. So this is not the best practice to follow. So we are specifying as near as we are having data into our table. So we are very much aware that our product name will fit under 100 length character. So this varchar, then quantity, it is int. It's not again the small int or big int, it's int, so that it should consume that approximately appropriate memory for this quantity column. Now we are having price, in which we are specifying as decimal data type, sys date as the date data type. So all these I have explained you right now. I will now jump to the SSMS so that you can see how we can proceed ahead with creating one table. Right now this is the interface of SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, in which we are writing our SQL query into the by clicking on this new query. Whenever we will click on new query, the blank page will open up here. You can see, right? So similarly, I have opened it up and then typed down the command as create table and table name, then our column name, then column data type. Similarly for another column name, column data type, and then for all. Whenever we have written it down, now we need to execute it. So in left pane we can see here that this one is the server. This one is the server name. We are having this particular one. After that, in that server name, we are having databases first. Now this databases will be collapsed by default. Whenever we need to see the databases, what all databases are available into this, so we can see here that we are having multiple databases. By default it comes with SSMS. Now whenever you will go ahead with creating the table, you need to just select it down. You need to select your database. So I am just going ahead with the master database itself. I am not creating any database for now. If you want to create database, you can just right click on it, new databases, and so that you can create a new database into this particular server. Now we are having the master database. To execute this particular sales table into the master database, we need to just click on this execute button so that command has been completed successfully. Now if we will click on master and then refresh the table, you can see that dbo.sales has been came up here as the table. So what is DBO now? DBO is the schema. Now what this schema is, how to regulate this schema, all these things we can watch into the separate video because this is a completely different topic. So just for now, keep a note of it that DBO is the schema over here for this particular sales table. Now this sales table has been created. If you will click on plus again and the columns, you can see all the columns whatever you have created with this particular script has been created against it. Correct? So this is how the table is getting created. This was the first DDL command, and after that we are having the alter command. This alter command is nothing but it's when you need to alter your structure of your table. That means if you want to add some particular column into it, if you want to delete some particular column from it, you can go ahead with having altering the table. For that we are having the syntax as alter table and then table name, add, then column name, and whatever the data type you want to specify with having the data size into it. So here you can just go ahead with having, suppose this particular one has been created, and if you will select it and execute it, you can see here in messages commands completed successfully. Now if you will refresh the column, you can see that customer name is into it. Correct? Now here this alter has been also been completed. Now after that we are having truncate table sales. Now this truncate is something which is useful for just making your whole of the table empty. suppose right now if some data it is available into your table. Right now the table doesn't contain any data since we didn't inserted any data. To insert data, we are having the separate commands, separate category for it. For now I will not explain the insert thing. I am just executing it so that I can put some data into the table, and then to see this particular table and the data, just I will go with this query, select star from sales. Now I will select this particular one, execute this. You can see that in this particular table, sales ID, product name, quantity, and all these column names, we are having data against it. Now to remove this data, we need to make this table empty. We need to have this truncate table and then table name. So when we will select this and execute this, you can see that commands have been completed successfully. Now again we are executing this. You can see that it is a vacant table now. So this is how we can execute our truncate command. After that, at last we are having drop. So drop table and then table name. So what it will do, it will remove that particular table from that particular database wherever your query is opened. So whenever you execute this command, drop table and then table name, this is going to be the syntax for that. Whenever you will execute this one, it will drop that particular table, it will delete that particular table from that particular database. The database is the master database into which it will delete it up. So when we will execute it, drop table and then table name and execute it, you can see that commands have been completed successfully. If now you will refresh this sales table or a master database, you will see that there is no table existing over there, correct? There is no table. The table was here only, right? So it has been removed from the database. So these were the few of the commands related to DDL, that means data definition language, in which we saw how to manage our database and structure our